In other news, Israel has come under intense international criticism over what Palestinians have called the biggest land grab by the state in 3 decades. It's declared over 900 acres of land near Bethlehem in the occupied West Bank state-owned. But it says it's not a new settlement, as it's officially designated a neighborhood of an existing one. Last year, the government invited bids for the building of 1,000 homes on the site, which is known as Geavot.
We were surprised in the early hours this morning when the Israeli civil administration and the Israeli military gave warnings and put signs in many areas of Wadi Fukin, to the northern, southern and western ways of the village, declaring appropriation of thousands of dunams for the benefit of the expansion of 3 settlements that surround the village.
While the United States has asked Israel to reverse the decision, the continued expansion of settlements on Palestinian land is a major obstacle to any future peace deal based on a 2-state solution.
This new declaration of expansion of settlements by the Israeli government is very significant. We don't remember such a big announcements in the last 1 or 2 decades. This is a stab in the back of Abbas and the moderate people in the Palestinian Authority. Instead of strengthening the Palestinian Authority versus Hamas, Israel is showing its other side and actually in a unilateral move expand settlements activity and destroy the chance for renegotiation with the Palestinian Authority.
Well, let's go now live to Mike Hanna, who's in our West Jerusalem bureau. Mike, how does Israel justify seizing this land now?
Well, there's been no official justification as such. However, Israel Radio reports that the seizure of this land could be linked to the killing of 3 Israeli settlers, an action that played part of the reason for the start of the Gaza war. Settlers within the area had been calling for this land to be appropriated. In the wake of those killings, they are clearly now satisfied. So on one level, it could appear to be a punitive measure, but to be very clear, Israel has been eyeing this particular plot of land for a long period of time. There were moves to develop a settlement there as much as 15 years ago. So certainly this is a bit of land that has been within what appears to be the grand Israeli settlement scheme. In terms of its geography, in terms of its locale, it is part of the massive Gush Etzion settler system, and effectively what it would do is put another little domino in the attempt to link the massive settlement of the West Bank, particularly Gush Etzion, directly to Jerusalem, completely cutting off Palestinian access throughout this massive swathe of the West Bank. So there is a clear tactic behind it, a clear strategy behind it. 45 days for those who have been farming the land to appeal in an attempt to stop this land grab.
A clear strategy, you say, Mike. We've heard criticism from the Americans to this latest move. Is Israel likely to go ahead with the appropriation in light of this criticism? And what impact will it have, you think, on the truce between Hamas in Gaza, of course, and the Israelis?
Well, the situation is very tenuous, so any incident like this, which will inflame emotion and certainly rupture whatever relationship remains between Israel and the Palestinians, there has been some resistance from within the Israeli cabinet. The Justice Minister, Tzipi Livni, has criticized the decision to seize this land, saying that it comes at a bad time, it will create negative publicity for Israel. She is criticizing it from a public relations point of view, not an ethical, moral or legal one. So certainly there is going to be an ongoing fallout from this land grab. There will be some resistance within cabinet, though generally it would appear this move has the full backing of the bulk of the Netanyahu government, and certainly has the full backing of the settler elements of that particular government. But in terms of relations with the Palestinians, well, yet another blow to a relationship that has virtually ceased to exist. In terms of negotiations, in terms of talks, well, that process is non-existent as well. So actions like this make the resumption of any form of negotiation even more likely, even more distant, as the US State Department has already pointed out.
Thank you very much, Mike. That's Mike Hanna reporting there live from Jerusalem.